Hello and welcome. Today we've got Michaud, and today we are going to be discussing all the reasons why you need to be investing in silver and gold and precious metals. Right now is the best time because the Fed and the dollar is absolutely collapsing. And you know that. And like Trump's to say, you know that, I like that. And quite frankly, the whole world knows it. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to my Instagram channel at Nicholas.Veniamin, where you can follow all my newsreels. Mark, thank you so much for joining me. How are you? And Happy New Year to you, sir.
Happy New Year to you, Nicholas. It's great to be on. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Always, always. Now, I believe you have a PowerPoint presentation to show to the viewers. We want to get right down to the point.
Yeah.
Of course, it's so important because we're not being educated in our school systems about why we need to invest in silver and gold. They're not teaching us how to invest our money and be entrepreneurials and think like a business mind. They just want us to stay in the matrix.
Yes. And yeah, let me get right into it, and then I'll elaborate on a few of the different things that are in there. But absolutely, I could not agree with you more. And right now, the more that we read, the more that we look at, the more we understand that they have a plan for every single one of us that may sound good the way they word it out, but it really isn't. It's something more. It's all about tyranny. It's all about putting us in places where they can control us. And it kind of blows my mind because I never really envisioned it that that's the way this sort of evil is in this world, but it is. And so let me just put up this disclaimer real quickly. I'm going to talk about precious metals. I'm not a financial advisor, not giving tax advice. Please read this and understand we're just basically sharing this with you because we want to educate people as to what's going on. And what I'm going to share is going to be my opinions. But here's some of the few, there's many reasons as to why to get precious metals. I'm just going to list a few. One of the big ones is that silver and gold have maintained their purchasing power over time. And what that means in a nutshell, I'm going to show you that on the next slide, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to come back to this one. But basically, you want to have something that's not going to keep losing value where you have to have more of it to be able to buy the same things down the road. That's what's happening with the dollar. If you just look back historically at over time, how much the dollar more we've had to pay for things, it's absolutely crazy. Another reason is that physical silver right now is still a very affordable asset. This is something everybody can get. And with the digital wallet that we have access to here, you could buy it as little as $1 and be able to let it accumulate and store up by being able to buy in fractional amounts. But you could buy an ounce of silver right now for right around 28, 30 bucks. And I can tell you that's an outstanding deal. It's a great value out there. And when you consider what's going on regarding the demand for silver, this is huge, Nicholas, because everybody in this country wants to go green. But the problem is that China makes all the stuff that really allows us to go green. And going green requires a lot of silver because you're talking about solar panels, you're talking about electric cars, a lot of things that silver is going to be needed for. And there's only so much of it in the ground. And when you consider average people like you and I are going out there now buying some to be able to just set aside for our future, the demand for it is tremendous, but the supply is not that high. And so the price that we're seeing at right now, in my personal opinion, and in the opinion of many experts out there, is highly manipulated. It should be much higher than what it is. I'm not going to predict what it could be, but it is being manipulated down. Just the same way you saw happen with the housing market back in 2008. There was a lot of manipulation going on until the bubble popped. And then when it happened, some people made money, a lot of people lost money. Central banks right now are buying precious metals by the tons. Gold in particular, they're just going out there and buying it. If they're buying it, we should be looking at the same thing that we should be doing for ourselves. If we're not out there buying it for ourselves, we're relying on their paper money or their central banking digital currency system, then they can dictate what we want to do. And I'll give you an example, Nicholas. Like one of the things we're seeing over here is that you're seeing major banks like Bank of America turning over their records to the FBI for people who were traveling on January 6th, 3 years ago. Not even didn't even have to be in Washington, D.C. Records were turned over for anybody who was in a plane and traveling around that time. It's nuts what power we can give these banks, and that's why we want to follow their lead to be able to get the same sort of assets that they're getting. The BRICS nations, which many of us have heard about, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Now it's bringing on Saudi Arabia and a lot of the other OPEC nations that focus on oil. They're growing and they're de-dollarizing. They're focusing on getting rid of the dollar as the world's reserve currency. What that would mean, everybody, is that our dollar on the world stage wouldn't really have any value. Now, right now, we're getting a lot of our materials that we need to live from other countries, and we're using our dollar to buy them. What happens when our dollar no longer has value? What's going to happen? And so these are reasons why we want to, again, protect ourselves, hedge against inflation, protect what you've worked hard for. It's an excellent bartering tool. If we go into a hyperinflation time when all of a sudden prices skyrocket, which they do with fiat currency systems, and then this is something that you want to be able to have that you can barter with to get some of the necessities of life. And lastly, it really is true money and real money and true wealth. And that's why people want to do it. There's a lot of other reasons as well, but these are just a handful of them that people want to go out there and understand. This is what I want to talk about with the purchasing power, though. I mean, take a look at this. The slide on the left is the purchasing power of the US dollar from 1913 to today. It started off being worth $1. Now it's down to worth 3 cents. That means what used to cost 3 cents now costs $1. So imagine that. That's on a small scale. Imagine that on a bigger scale, like on cars and things like that. Then you take a look at silver and gold. Silver back in 1965, 2,500 ounces and 2,500 paper dollars were the same. But in 2021, 2,500 ounces of silver was $67,000 worth. Dollar had dropped in value. Silver had basically maintained, but because the dollar dropped in value, it's worth a lot more of those dollars. Gold, even more extreme. 2,626 ounces of gold was $169,000. You could buy a home. But in 2021, 21 years later, 626 ounces of gold was worth $1.22 million. They never told us to go out there and get gold and silver. They never told us to go out there and protect ourselves from the paper money. They basically kept us in that system, and that's what's going on today. And so that's just a few of the things I wanted to share. I will mention a couple other things that as part of our company now, we are expanding into a few more countries in Europe. Germany, Switzerland, and Australia are 3 countries that we are now part of a soft launch opening, spreading our message and this membership out there as well. And then we also have some other great things that they're rolling out. This is one thing I want to show everybody. We have new memberships now with what we've talked about over time, Nicholas. And one of the big things about this is that with a new membership that we now have, there is a medals bonus where if you simply go out and you refer other people to the membership that we have, and they go in and they buy some gold and silver within our digital wallet, you'll actually earn a small fraction of a percentage of whatever it is they buy. What you see here on the screen, these are each different purchases that people within that we have referred to this membership have done ourselves personally, and I guarantee you got some in your own, that you'll see that you're actually earning some silver and gold within your own wallet there. And that's powerful because people are just going in, they're spending $5 here, $10 here, and every time you're earning a little bit of free metals for yourself. We also have a membership where there's no renewals anymore. People just basically get their membership. They're able to get free storage of their silver and gold up to $50,000 that they buy in the wallet. That's outstanding. They also have all their metals fully insured and protected, as well as you can have the metals mailed to you if you like, and you can also instantly liquidate them if you need to turn them back into cash. Now, that's a few of the things I wanted to mention. They do have one last thing that I'll also share with everybody. They are rolling out a brand new collectible series called Beauty of the World, and they're a stunning set. And the brand new sets, when they first roll out, that's when they're most popular because people want to get the whole set. That's the time to get started. So I wanted to share that with everybody, and I wanted to share that with you because there's a lot of changes in the world right now that people are not going to be prepared for. But if they go out there and they start taking at least the small steps now, they still have a window where they can take that protection and take care of their families. And so I just encourage people, learn, get educated about this stuff. Whether you want to act on it or not, that's up to you. But
Absolutely.
get
And the
yourself
webinar,
educated.
yeah, the webinar that you guys, I'm going to leave the link below. It's very easy. Just leave your name and email, and Mark will be in touch with you. And it's free, and it's free education. And I think it's
Yeah.
fantastic. What kind of things do you teach on the webinar, Mark? And
Well, we
why
basically educate
the
what's going
membership?
on in the world. I'm sorry, I interrupt you. I apologize.
No, that's okay.
I was going to say we teach a lot about what's going on in the world, but then we show them solutions. We show them ways in which what we can offer them and some of the different things that are out there in the world as to how they can start taking action. Here's the bottom line. Most people, 99% of people out there, only 1% of people in our country own precious metals. So you're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of 90+% don't really have a whole lot of understanding about what to get, who to trust, what sort of metals to buy regarding the circumstances and so forth. And so first thing they're going to get is they're going to learn about a membership that's going to give them access to education where they can learn all about this stuff. And the best part is that we need to know this stuff for this changing world, and you're not going to get it from an unbiased source in any other place that I know of. And so I think right now it's a good time to take action and at least learn about it.
Absolutely. Very important. Thank you so much. The link will be below. Get learning, get buying those silver and gold metals, because and get out of the matrix, educate yourselves. And it's something that I'm a big advocate with the gold standard. And I know Donald Trump is as well. And it's something that we all need to be aware of. But thank you so much, Mark. And we'll speak again very soon. You take care and God bless you.
You as well, Nicholas. Thanks so much for having me.